What is up, everyone? I am back with a new leveling guide. I took a break over a couple months as I was starting college and getting used to that and everything. But now I'm back in the swing of things, kind of getting used to my schedule and stuff. And over the break, there were a couple patches, I think like two or three. But in those patches, there were some major changes to the leveling system when it comes to getting from level 1 to 65, and I'm going to be discussing that today. Especially when I came back, apparently that video, that leveling guide, the old one that I made, like exploded, had like 2,000 views. I think when I left and took my break, it had like 100 maybe. I didn't expect anything to come out of that, so we're definitely going to remake this for you guys. As far as the old video goes, I did go ahead and just delete it off my channel. That way there's no confusion since it was outdated and would not be of any use in this patch. So without further ado, let's get to explaining what you need to do today to get from 1 to 65. So starting off, they basically reverted the leveling system back to how it was a long time ago. If you're an older player, you might recognize how this goes. If you're brand new, then I will explain what I'm talking about. So, first thing is first, you need to, if you're a brand new player, just skip the tutorial. The tutorial does not teach you anything. This is coming from a player who has played this game since it released on console, which is like 3 years, 4 years now, something like that. I don't even know. But skip the tutorial. It's going to start you at level 13. Just make sure that when you do that, make sure you take some time to read your skill descriptions and how to use them and stuff, and read and learn how to play your class to the best of your ability. And make sure you go back and read skill descriptions of new skills you unlock as you level up. So, the basic premises of the new leveling system is that you're just going to follow the story quest from level 13 to level 20. When you hit level 20, it's going to tell you to do a dungeon called Bastion of Lock. It's going to try to get you to do it with multiple people. I think 3 people can technically do Bastion of Lock at the same time. And if you are by yourself and you don't have any friends playing with you, you're just starting the game on your own, the best thing for you to do is to just do the solo version of Bastion of Lock. Even though the story quest tells you that you have to do the multiplayer version, you can ignore that and just do the solo version of it if you're by yourself, because that's going to be the fastest way to level up. There are technically other ways to do it, but this is like the fastest way if you're by yourself. If you do have friends, if you have 1 or 2 buddies with you, or where y'all can do this, that's gonna be even faster, and it's gonna cut even more time off of your leveling time. Um, Other than that, it also, when you hit level 20, it'll tell you that you can participate in Kuma's Royale. Literally nobody plays that game. I believe this was even stated in the old video. Nobody plays it. Don't bother queuing for it. And you're probably going to be hard pressed to even find people in instance matching for Bastion of Law. That's why I tell you to just do it solo. And that's going to be the fastest way to level. You're going to do that till like level 28, 29. And then it's going to give you, you're going to be basically too high of item level for it. And then it's going to give you some new story quests. And that's basically the majority of the leveling process. Is you follow the story quest till you get to a dungeon. You do the dungeon and grind it out until you unlock new story quests, and you rinse and repeat. That is going to be the majority of this leveling process, and that's how it was back in the old days. Now, while you are doing your dungeon runs, you may come into the problem of having limited dungeon runs. That is a thing in this game. I know if you have elite or specifically silver or gold elite, then those give you more dungeon runs. I think as long as you have elite, you can like never run out of leveling dungeon runs, at least until you hit like level 60. I'll explain that in a bit. But I'm not sure what the limit is, and it may not be a thing anymore for the leveling dungeons. If you do, just know that if you do run into like a limit where it tells you can't do this dungeon anymore, um, you have one of two options. Either you can get elite, or you can just call it for the day, go play something else, and come back tomorrow. That's just how the game is. Because the only other alternative is farming BAMs, and that's not worth it. It is so slow. It's too little reward for too much effort. I would personally definitely go play a different game if you run into that problem. As far as Elite goes, it's like premium subscriptions in that you can get from the Tera store. There's bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze is useless. This is from an experienced player to a new player. Bronze is useless. Don't ever buy it. Silver is probably a good safe buy. Gold is too expensive for what it is. I have gold, but that's because I bought it off the trade broker within the game. I don't ever pay cash for that because it's too expensive in my opinion. I would never, I would never recommend it to anybody for the price. Um, I'm not denying its benefits. I'm just saying they're not worth it. From an experienced player to a new player, I would recommend buying Silver Elite. You don't have to. You can still play the game without it, but it's going to improve your experience a ton if you do buy Silver Elite. Now, you may run into some hiccups in the leveling process. I remember in the past there were certain levels that you kind of like ran out of story quests and you weren't quite to the next dungeon yet. And if that's the case, then you're going to intentionally grind BAMs. They do give you a little bit of XP, just not a whole lot. The main reason you're gonna farm BAMs is if you're lacking gear and you like need item level. If you try to go into a dungeon and it tells you you don't have enough item level, or if you just find yourself struggling in the solo dungeon and you're getting your butt kicked by all the mobs, then you can go hunt BAMs in order to acquire the upper level gear for you before you go back in. And you'll do that by collecting the tokens that you get for completing the Vanguards. I'll show that on the screen here in a second, if not already. But you go to your Vanguards, you farm the amount it asks, and it gives you tokens. And you just do that over and over until you have enough tokens to buy the gear that you need. Um, Other than that, it's really just rinse and repeat until you hit level 60. Yeah, till you hit level 60. When you hit level 60, there's a couple of things change. The story quests get a lot longer. Leveling becomes exponentially harder. Um, and once you hit level 60, I do believe there's one dungeon that you can farm like all the way from 60 to 65. With that being said, when you reach level 60, you are within 5 item levels of max level players, so they will be able to carry you through a dungeon called Savek's Armory. If you decide to skip the story quests and just get carried, then you can find a teleport scroll for this dungeon in a specialty merchant. Otherwise, the story quest will eventually take you to it. You'll figure out where it's at. And the way you have people carry you is you incentivize them with gold. You just hop in global chat and offer like 5 or 10k gold for people to come carry you, and they'll they'll come they'll come group up with you, and they'll just run through Sabek's Armory and kill the stuff for you. And because you're within 5 item levels, then you're going to be getting the XP for all the monsters they're killing. So you just kind of sit back and let them kill everything. some people may run out of dungeon runs before for Sabix before they hit level 65. I know Sabix, as well as the other dungeon, Myseliur's Catacombs, have significantly fewer runs available in as far as like by leveling dungeon standards. So if that happens, you may have to call it for a day and come back the next day and finish it up. Um, but that's pretty much it. Once you get carried through Sabix and or Myselius, preferably Sabix, because Myselius is going to be harder. Once you get through that, you should be at 65, and I'll make a separate video on what to do when you hit 65. That's definitely another video's worth of content. But that's that. You should be good to go after that. Thank you for watching, everyone.